There's a specific kind of silence that hits different, the silence of a door closing from the other side. You go to send a message or you check a profile out of habit and something's off. The conversation won't deliver, the page won't load, the name is just gone. And in that instant, the truth lands in your chest like a stone. She blocked you first, and if you've ever felt that exact moment, you know it doesn't just sting, it humiliates. Because somewhere deep down, a voice whispers the cruelest lie there is. She won. She got the last move. She closed the door before you could. But here is what I need you to understand before we go 1 inch further, and it's the whole reason this video exists. Being blocked first is not a defeat. In fact, handled the right way, it might be the single greatest gift she could have given you, because the game you think you just lost was never the game that mattered. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what to do, step by step, so that you walk away from this not as the man who got blocked, but as the man who quietly, completely won. But before we go deeper, if that closed door has been weighing on you, do one thing for yourself right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Because that's how you become a Stoic soldier, a man who shows up for his own growth every single day and never misses the lesson when he needs it most. And down in the comments, type 3 words and mean them. I still win. Say it before you've even finished watching, because the words you claim today become the strength you stand on tomorrow. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The sting. Let's be honest about why this one hurts the way it does, because pretending it doesn't is how men stay stuck. Being blocked first cuts deep, and it cuts in 3 places at once. The first is rejection, the raw, primal sting of someone deciding they don't just want distance, they want a wall. It's one thing for a relationship to fade. It's another to have someone build a barrier with your name on it. The second is finality. A block feels like a door slammed and bolted, a sentence ending with no period, just a hard, cold stop. There's no more conversation to be had, no chance to explain, no opportunity to have the last word, or fix the misunderstanding or say the thing you'd been rehearsing. It's just over, decided unilaterally, without your vote. And the third, the one that quietly does the most damage, is the loss of control. You didn't choose this ending. It was chosen for you. And for a man, few things feel worse than being on the receiving end of a decision he had no say in. It pokes at something deep, the part that wants to be the one who walks away, not the one who gets shut out. And on top of all of that, there's the story your mind immediately starts writing, which is almost always worse than the truth. The block becomes a verdict. You start filling in what it must mean, that she's completely fine, that she's already moved on, that she feels nothing, that she's out there living free while you sit here staring at a wall. Your imagination hands her all the power and casts you as the one left behind, defeated, erased. I want you to notice that this story is not information. It's a wound talking. None of it is confirmed. None of it is fact. It's just the most painful possible interpretation. And the human mind, when it's hurting, reaches for the most painful interpretation almost every time. So the first step isn't to fix the feeling or argue yourself out of it. The first step is simply to see it clearly for what it is. A sting in 3 places, plus a story your pain is telling you in the dark. Name it. Feel it. The Stoics never asked you to pretend you weren't hit. They asked you to stop letting the hit write your entire reality. And that distinction between the genuine sting and the catastrophic story stacked on top of it is where your power begins to come back. Number 2, what it really means and what it doesn't. So let's pull that catastrophic story apart and look at what a block actually means, because once you see it clearly, half its power over you dissolves. Here is the truth almost no one wants to sit with. A block is rarely the calm, final verdict of someone who feels nothing. It is, far more often, the exact opposite. People do not build walls against things that don't affect them. You don't block out what you're indifferent to. You scroll right past it. You forget it exists. It has no grip on you. A block is an action taken under pressure, It's what someone does when they don't trust themselves around something, when seeing it stirs up too much, when they need a hard barrier because their own willpower feels too soft. So when you read that block as "she's completely over me and feels nothing," understand that you may be reading it exactly backwards. A truly indifferent person doesn't need a wall. The wall itself is evidence that something still had to be managed. Now, I'm not saying that to feed your hope, and I'm certainly not saying it so you'll go test the theory. I'm saying it so you'll stop torturing yourself with the worst-case interpretation that your wound invented in the dark. But here's the part that matters far more than what it means about her. Let's talk about what it does not mean about you. It does not mean you are unlovable. It does not mean you are less of a man. It does not mean you lost some cosmic competition or that your worth just got stamped rejected. A block is one person's coping mechanism in one painful chapter of their life. It is a statement about where they are, not a measurement of who you are. The Stoics drilled this distinction relentlessly because it's the source of nearly all unnecessary suffering. Another person's actions belong to them, and they reveal their state, their fears, their limits, not your value. Your worth was never on the table here. It was never hers to grant, and it is not hers to revoke. The block tells you something about how she's handling the end. It tells you exactly nothing about what you're worth. And the moment you stop letting someone else's coping mechanism double as your self-assessment, you take back the one thing that was always only yours to hold. Number 3. The trap you must not fall into. Now I have to stop and give you the most important warning in this entire video, because this is the exact moment where men destroy themselves, and they do it while telling themselves they're being strong. When you get blocked, a part of you, the wounded, frantic part, is going to start looking for a way around the wall. It'll whisper that you just need to reach her one more time. Make a new account to see her profile. Message her through a friend. Show up somewhere you know she'll be. Find some clever side door now that the front one is locked. And I need you to hear me with total clarity. Every single one of those is you losing. Not winning, losing. The block was a boundary. She drew a line and asked, in the loudest way a person can without words, to be left alone. And the instant you try to get around that line, you've told the world, and worse, you've told yourself, that her boundary doesn't matter to you, that your need to reach her is bigger than her right to be left in peace. There is no version of that which is strength. That is the behavior of a man controlled by his wound, and it is beneath the man you're trying to become. So let me hand you the reframe that flips this completely, because it's the heart of everything. Respecting the block is the power move. Walking away from that wall without trying a single door, that is the most dominant, self-possessed thing you can do. Think about what it actually demonstrates. It says you have so much self-respect that you would never chase someone who asked you not to. It says your peace does not depend on access to her. It says you can take the hit, accept the boundary, and keep your dignity completely intact. The Stoics would call this sovereignty, the rule of a man over himself. Epictetus taught that the only true freedom is wanting only what is yours to have, and refusing to be dragged around by cravings for what isn't. Her attention is no longer yours to have, so you let it go. Not because you're weak and giving up, but because you're strong enough to honor a closed door and turn around with your head high. The man who tries to climb the wall has already lost, no matter what he finds on the other side. The man who nods, respects it, and walks away has already won, no matter how much it stings on the way out. Don't climb the wall. Bless it and turn around. Your whole future is in that turn. Number 4. Redefining what winning even means. This whole time, there's been a word quietly poisoning your thinking, and it's time we drag it into the light: winning. Because the only reason being blocked feels like a loss is that somewhere along the way, you started believing this was a competition, a contest with a scoreboard, where whoever cares less wins, whoever moves on first wins, whoever gets the last move wins. And as long as you're playing that game, you've already lost, because that game has no prize at the end, only two people pretending not to bleed. So let's redefine the word entirely, the way a man with a stoic mind would. Winning was never about beating her. It was never about who recovers faster, or who looks happier, or who gets the final word. Real winning has only ever meant one thing. Did you keep command of yourself? Did you act in line with the man you want to be, regardless of what she did? That's the only scoreboard that was ever real, and it's a scoreboard she has zero access to. She can block you, she can move on, she can do 100 things you can't control. But she cannot touch your conduct. She cannot reach in and make you bitter, make you beg, make you betray your own values. Only you can do that, which means only you can lose, and only you can win. This is the dichotomy of control, the foundation the entire Stoic philosophy is built on, and it is your way out of this prison. Epictetus said it plainly 2,000 years ago. Some things are within our power, and some things are not. Her feelings, her choices, her blocking you, not in your power, and never were. Your response, your dignity, your growth, your peace, entirely in your power, completely and always. So when you measure this situation by whether you got her back, or got the last word, or made her regret it, you've staked your victory on a game played entirely on her side of the line. But when you measure it by whether you stayed grounded, respected the boundary, refused to chase, and turned this pain into fuel for becoming a stronger man, now you're playing a game you cannot lose, because every move in it belongs to you. That's why the title of this video is true. You still win. Not by some clever countermove against her, but because the only victory that was ever available to you was internal the whole time. She got the last move on the board you were staring at, but you were always playing a different game. And on your board, the only way to lose was to abandon yourself, and you're not going to do that. Number 5, the gift hidden in the block. Now I want to show you something that will sound almost impossible right now, but stay with me, because once you see it, you can never unsee it. That block is a gift. I know how that lands while it still stings, but think honestly about what you were probably doing before it happened. You were checking, weren't you? Glancing at her profile, watching for a green dot, rereading old messages, wondering, hoping, leaving a door cracked open in your own mind so you could keep one foot in a chapter that was already closing. You were trying to do no contact and quietly breaking it a dozen small ways a day, because the access was still there. And as long as access is there, the temptation never sleeps. You wanted the clean break, but you couldn't quite give it to yourself, because part of you kept reaching back for the very thing that was hurting you. And then she blocked you, and in one move she did the thing you'd been struggling to do for weeks. She closed the door all the way. She removed the option. She took the temptation off the table completely. That is the gift, even though it arrived wrapped in pain. Because the hardest part of letting go is never the deciding. It's the 1,000 little moments afterward where you could reach back and you have to keep choosing not to. The block deletes those moments. There's no profile to check now. No message to almost send. No green dot to torture yourself with. The exit you kept leaving open has been sealed from the other side, and that means the only direction left for you to walk is forward. The Stoics had a phrase for embracing exactly this kind of thing, amor fati, the love of one's fate. It means meeting what happens, even the hard things, as if you had chosen them, because they're often delivering precisely what you needed in a form you never would have picked. You would never have chosen to be blocked, but a clean, total, irreversible cut from someone you needed to let go of. That might be the exact medicine you were too attached to prescribe yourself. So stop seeing the locked door as a defeat. See it as the universe finishing a job your heart kept refusing to finish. She didn't trap you behind that wall. She freed you from it. Number 6, the closure you'll never get and don't need. Let's talk about the thing you're secretly still waiting for, because it's keeping you chained even now. Closure. Somewhere in you, there's a quiet hope that one day she'll unblock you, reach out, and finally give you the conversation that explains it all. The apology, the acknowledgement, The moment where she admits what you meant and what she lost. You want the ending to make sense. You want someone to come back and tie the loose threads, to validate your side, to say the words that let your mind finally rest. And the block feels so unbearable, partly because it seems to slam the door on ever getting that. Here's the hard truth a Stoic mind has to accept, that closure is probably never coming, and waiting for it is one of the most painful, most pointless things a man can do, because you've handed the key to your own peace to a person who has already shown you they're not going to use it. You're standing outside a locked door, waiting for someone inside to finally let you feel okay, when that okay was never on their side of the door at all. So here is what the strongest men eventually understand. Closure is not something another person hands you. It's something you give yourself. It's a decision, not a conversation. Real closure doesn't come from her explaining why. It comes from you accepting that the why doesn't change the what. It's over. That's the only fact that matters, and you already have it. You don't need her testimony to validate your experience. You don't need her apology to begin healing, and you don't need her to acknowledge your worth for your worth to be real. The Stoics would tell you that demanding the world give you a tidy ending before you'll allow yourself peace is just another way of making your serenity depend on things outside your control. So stop waiting at that door, turn around, and grant yourself the closure no one else was ever going to grant you. Say it plainly to yourself. It ended, I may never fully understand it, and I am going to heal anyway. That sentence is more powerful than any apology she could ever give, because it comes from the one person whose words about your life actually carry final authority, you. The conversation you're waiting for isn't with her. It's the one you have with yourself, the day you decide you're done waiting to be released, and you simply walk free. Number 7. Let the ego die so the man can live. Now we have to confront the part of you that's been making all of this so much harder than it needs to be, your ego. Because most of the agony of being blocked first isn't actually heartbreak, it's wounded pride. There's a difference, and it's an important one. Heartbreak is the genuine grief of losing someone you cared about. That's real, that's human, and that deserves to be felt. But wounded pride is something else entirely. It's the voice hissing, she beat me, she got the last move, she made me look weak, I can't let her win. That voice isn't mourning her, it's defending an image. It's protecting your standing, your sense of dominance, your need to not be the one left behind. And here's the trap. That wounded pride will drive you to do the dumbest things a man can do. It'll push you to chase just to even the score, to act unbothered in ways that are obviously bothered, to make a move not because you want her, but because your ego cannot stand the idea of being the loser. The ego doesn't want peace. It wants to win. And it will happily set your actual healing on fire just to protect how things look. So here is the work, and it's the hardest work in this entire video. You have to let that ego die so the real man underneath can finally live. The Stoics understood that the ego, the desperate need to be seen as winning, to protect your image, to never be one down, is the source of an enormous amount of human suffering, and that true strength begins the moment you stop needing to look strong. Think about it. A man who needs everyone to know he's unbothered is, by definition, bothered. But a man who is genuinely at peace doesn't need a single witness to it. He's not keeping score because he's not playing. He let the ego die, and what grew in its place was something far more powerful. A quiet, unbothered, unshakable self that has nothing to prove because it isn't afraid of being seen as anything. When you can look at the block and feel the pride voice scream, "But she won," and you can calmly answer, "There was never a contest, and I don't need to win one to be at peace." That is the moment you graduate from being a boy guarding his image to being a man secure in himself. Let the ego die. It was never protecting you anyway. It was just keeping you in a fight that only existed in your own head. Number 8. So do this. All right, let's make this concrete because the title promised you a do this. And here it is, step by step, the way a grounded man actually walks through being blocked. First, you accept it, fully and immediately. No bargaining, no, But maybe if I just, no waiting for it to be undone. The door is closed. You treat it as closed, completely today. Acceptance isn't defeat. It's you refusing to waste a single day fighting a fact. Second, you go silent inward and you make the block total in your own mind. That means you don't just respect the wall on her end. You build your own. You unfollow if anything's still there to unfollow. You delete the old thread. You remove the photos that you keep crawling back to. You close every back door on your side too, so there's nothing left to pick at, nothing left to torture yourself with at 2 a.m. You make the silence clean, on purpose, because half measures keep the wound open. Third, you redirect every ounce of that energy, and this is where the transformation actually happens. All the attention you were spending on her, the checking, the wondering, the imaginary conversations, you physically move it somewhere that builds you. Into the gym, where you can put the ache to work. Into your craft or your career, where focus turns pain into progress. Into the friendships and the family you let go quiet while you were consumed. Into a new skill, a new discipline, a new standard for yourself. The Stoics believed a man becomes what he repeatedly does, so you give yourself better things to repeatedly do. Fourth, you make 0 attempts at contact. Not through her, not around her, not through anyone else, not ever. You let the boundary stand like a man with self-respect. And fifth, you let time do its quiet work without rushing it. You don't demand to be healed by Friday. You just keep showing up for yourself, day after day, doing the next right thing, and you trust that the man who keeps doing that long enough wakes up one morning genuinely free. That's the whole protocol. Accept it. Seal your side. Redirect the energy. Honor the boundary. Let time work. Do those 5 things, and you will not just survive this. You will be forged by it into someone the old you wouldn't even recognize. Number 9. The man on the other side. Let me show you who's waiting at the end of this, because I want you to have something to walk toward on the nights it still aches. There's a version of you on the other side of this block who barely remembers why it ever stung. Not because he went numb, because he genuinely outgrew it. When the memory of being blocked crosses his mind now, there's no spike, no spiral, no urge to check whether the wall is still there. There's just a calm, almost amused recognition of how far he's come. He doesn't hate her. He doesn't secretly hope she's miserable. He doesn't need her to come crawling back so he can finally feel like he won, because he stopped keeping score a long time ago. He looks back and feels something closer to gratitude, for the lesson, for the clean cut, for the forced push out of a chapter he was clinging to. That block became the starting line of the best stretch of growth in his life, and he knows it. He took the worst feeling moment and quietly turned it into a foundation. And here's what makes this man so different from who you are right now. His peace doesn't depend on anyone, not on her, not on being chosen, not on getting the last word or the apology or the explanation. He built a life so full and a self so solid that the question of who won the breakup became completely irrelevant, because he won the only thing that ever mattered, which was himself. The Stoics promised this exact outcome to any man willing to do the work. A self-mastery so complete that no external event can shake your inner peace. A freedom that no other person can grant and no other person can take away. That man is not a fantasy. He's not someone with special luck or a softer breakup. He's just you, a number of disciplined days from now. You, if you respect the boundary, redirect the pain, let the ego die, and refuse to abandon yourself even once. The block didn't end your story. It started the chapter where you finally became unshakable. And the day you realize the sting is gone completely, that you could see her name and feel nothing but calm, you'll understand what this whole video was really about. You didn't just survive being blocked. You let it make you into a man who can never be controlled by anyone's exit again. Number 10, the final word. So let's bring it all the way home. She blocked you first, and by now you understand that what felt like the ultimate defeat was nothing of the kind. The sting was real, but the story your wound told you was a lie. The block was never proof you're unworthy. It was one person's way of coping with an ending. The power move was never to climb the wall. It was to respect it and walk away with your head high. The closure you were waiting for was never going to come from her. It was always yours to give yourself. And winning was never about beating her, because there was never a contest on her side of the line worth playing. The only game that was ever real was the one inside you. Whether you kept your dignity, honored the boundary, let the ego die, and refused to abandon the man you're becoming. And if you do that, then the title of this video isn't a comforting slogan, it's a simple fact. You still win. Not by reaching her, not by some clever final move. You win because the day she closed that door, she accidentally handed you the clean break, the forced growth, and the chance to become a man whose peace lives entirely on the inside, where no block, no exit, and no person can ever reach it again. And if this video gave you even a fraction of the strength you came here looking for, then before you go, do these last few things for yourself. Like this video, so it can reach the next man staring at that wall, convinced he lost. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, so you stand with us as a Stoic soldier. A man who shows up for his own growth every single day and never misses the lesson when he needs it most. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here, and thank you for watching all the way to the end. Now close the app, lift your head, and go become the man this whole thing was always meant to forge. The door is closed, so turn around and walk toward everything that's still open. Stay grounded, stay unshakable, and I'll see you in the next one.